Hey guys, so today I'm going to be showing you how I edit skin without using any plugins or anything. So here I just created a duplicate layer. What I did was I made sure I was selecting the background layer and then hit Command J or Control J. And then I'm going in and I'm just doing some patch selecting and removing things that I feel like are kind of distracting. And even if they're kind of like really close up, I like to just make sure that they're not something, that's going to catch your eye that you really don't want seen. So like her lash that's being pulled up here, which happens, it's completely normal. Our makeup artist was amazing for that day. She's so talented. I'll link her information down below. And all I'm doing here is just doing some micro detailing, and this always happens with any kind of model shoot. There's always going to be something. It doesn't mean that it's a bad makeup job or it's a bad photograph or that your model has like texture on their skin because they're a human. Like, it's just what happens, and that's completely fine. So what I do here, like I said, is I just remove any kind of distractions or things that might not, might take away from the viewing pleasure, I guess. So once that's done, I'll create a snapshot and then I'll flatten that. And then this is where we start working on the skin. So yes, we just worked on the skin, but what we're doing now is we are going to blur it. So I did make two layers, so I hit Command J 2 times, and then I turned off the top layer. Now I went into filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and I added a Gaussian blur to that one. And then on the top one, I turned it on, and then I'm going in and using high pass. So the high pass, I just want it right at the verge of where I can see some information going on. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a layer mask to both of them, and all that means is that now it is invisible and I have to paint it on. So I have to paint the action on. So I'm gonna be painting on with a white brush either the sharpness or the soft. So I'm going in, I'm taking away detail where I don't want that much detail. Again, this happens with everyone, any model, anything. Like, people have pores. This is not to shame anybody with non-plastic skin, because that's not realistic. And this is just so it can be more of a cohesive, smooth look. And that's what, some people want, and that's what we were trying to achieve here, is more of a less texture on her skin. And then also I did add texture when I was in Lightroom. So when I was in Lightroom, when I was editing this for the base edit, I did add clarity, which will make her pores look bigger because it's creating that definition from light and dark. So here I'm just kind of taking it away, and no one's ever this close to someone, like, personal distance and all that. So again, we're just painting it on where we feel like. Again, that layer one is our blurring, so I'm just brushing it on wherever I see fit. And you don't have to have a brush at 100% opacity. Like here I have it at, I believe, either 30 or 50. I can't really see because my thumbnail for this is very small, but you don't have to have it that big. And then you can change the blending mode. Right now I have it on soft light, and then you can always like change it up. You can change up how you see things. Like if you feel like it's too soft, you can bring it down. If you feel like it's too sharp, you can bring it down. And then if you notice right here, see how like there's kind of this banding, like the weird band going on? That's because when I painted it on like too dramatically, which is fine. I mean, I'm just gonna have to fix it later. So essentially what we're doing here is we created the two layers. We created one layer that's going to create the softness, and we created the other layer that's creating the sharpness. So what we're doing, again, like I said, is just going in and choosing what we want to see, what we don't want to see. Another cool thing that we can do is, as you see here, I'm actually working not on the layer mask, but on the texture layer itself. So I'm removing that texture and replacing it with other texture. So I'm using my stamp tool, or I'm using my patch healing tool, and removing and moving the pores around. I hope that makes sense. Just if you see what I'm doing here, I'm just like moving them around so they kind of blur into each other, and it's not as sharp. And then when we go in and we try to add the sharpness, then that's when we're gonna see like dramatic effect. And then also make sure that you're not forgetting like the body or anything like that, where we're gonna kind of still see texture there, so it kind of is a little bit more cohesive. So now I flattened that, and then we went from here to here, and I am going to start doing some more editing. So in this, we're just gonna create like toning and stuff, and you don't have to do this. This portion is included in my last video, but again, you guys, I hope you learned something new, and I hope this is gonna help you create beautiful images. And yeah, you don't have to be paying $200 for a plugin that you might not use, but hopefully this was just like one way that you can get skin to look a little bit more skin-like. Alright guys, my name is Giovanna Padilla, and I hope you subscribe and like the video and share it if you really liked it, and I hope you learned something new, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye!